We don't want the story to die, right? We want to keep it alive for the students. So I'm going to take you through a basic structure, and then I'm going to give you, we're going to get into probably groups of about 6. Then I'm going to give you another unit with another story for you to talk about the process of how to go through it and how you would bring in your own clever elements to make the story come alive. So part of the focus on storytelling is also what David was talking about this morning, about not just listening to a story, but thinking about it. What is it saying to the students? So the element of critical thinking can come into story time. So Harvard University have developed a methodology, if you like, from Project Zero that is called visual thinking. And I like the kind of idea and the word of visual thinking for children because it seems something very practical, right? So here's a little bit about what visual thinking routines are. A broad and flexible framework to enrich the learning experience. And in level 1 of the literacy book, we decided to use this one, see, think and wonder. See, think and wonder. Yeah? So we're going to take the students through we're going to analyze an interesting image which in some way is connected to the story that they're going to hear. It can be a fiction or a non-fiction story, but it's carefully brought into the classroom so that the students get a connection to it. We're going to explore the images to activate prior knowledge and lead on to further thinking. Yeah? So before we even start this Once Upon a Time, we give them a lovely image to start making connections and in some ways to personalize the idea. Okay? So, in our teachers' resources, you'll have like a worksheet that helps the students to structure what they see, what they think, and what they wonder. Now, first graders, they're not all writers to start with, yeah? Some might need to do a drawing instead, and that's okay. All right? What do we do with students on their phones? So, see, think, and wonder, okay? Whoops, there we go. Now, let's go home. Yeah, home. Let's go home. How does the word home make you feel? Yeah, warm. It makes you think about something, right? So, you can see here, right at the top, see, think and wonder. A, look at the picture. What do you see? Okay, so can you just tell me very simply some of the things that you can see in this home? What can you see? Somebody say something? A messy bed. Good, okay. What else? Flowers. You can see flowers on the roof. Yeah. Cookies in the bathtub. What can you see in the swimming pool? An octopus. What can you see at the door of the house? Some pencils. Okay, great. Flowers in the loo. Yeah, the toilet paper turns into a snake. What else can you see? Can you see you can see a clock, yes? Can you see any? Yeah, balls, yeah, okay, great. All right. So then, once you've explored the things the students can see, now you want them to think about the things they can see, okay? So look at B, it says, it's a cute house, it's funny, I think it's funny. So what do you think about this house? It's weird, yeah, it's strange, it's weird. Okay. Yes.
The window like a cum.
Yes.
And the toilet paper
Yeah. So, great. Okay. What else do you think about that? Do you think it's like a regular house? Yeah. Okay. So that's already making us wonder. No? What question would you ask about I wonder? I wonder who.
Who's owns the house?
Yeah. Who owns the house? I wonder who lives there. Yeah. I wonder if the octopus knows how to swim in a swimming pool. Yes? Yeah. So it's going to, I wonder who put the cookies in the bathtub. Yeah? So it's not just like this is a house, this is a funny house, it has windows, da-da-da. There's more to it. Tell me something else that you start to wonder. I wonder how the flowers grow in the chimney. Excellent. What about outside? What?
Why does the house bleed rainbow?
Oh, yes. Yes, exactly. Excellent. Yeah. I wonder who painted the path. Yeah? Yes. How do they do that? I wonder why there are books in the fridge. Yeah? So you can really, there's a lot of information there, okay? Yeah? And this is the thing, we are not really used to asking so many open-ended questions, right? So in the teacher's book, we have like little scripts to help teachers know exactly the right kind of questions to ask. And pause, give the students enough time to really wonder about things. So that's A, B, and C of the visual thinking routine. And when you get to D, what I might do, we've made the sound of the rain, but in my class I would probably bring this instrument here again. What is this? I might say, what is this the sound of? Yes, it's the sound of a storm. Yeah. What do we get? What do we get when we have a storm? We get some rain. And thunder and lightning. Great. We get all those things. So it says here, look at the title. What do you think the poem is about? It's going to be a poem text. What is it going to be about, apart from the storm? Let's imagine. A flood, great. It could be about a flooding.
Heavy rain?
Heavy rain. Are there going to be any people in the poem? A tornado. Yeah, it could be about a tornado. Yeah, tsunami. That could be really scary. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, good. So we have explored this theme a little bit with the students. And then we actually come to the page of the storm. Okay? Who's this? It's a girl. What's she doing? Yeah, she's scared of storms, right? What's that white thing in the sky? It's lightning, isn't it? Can you see how the wind? What? Yeah? What's the wind doing to the trees? Yes, bending the trees, right? Now where is she? At home. Who's there with her? What's Dad doing? Yeah, good. How is she feeling now? Yeah, okay. Now where is she? Yeah, in the bedroom maybe? And who's she with? Parents, mum, little brother. And what about here? Now what's happening? She's going to sleep. Good, okay. So we look at the pictures, and I think this is really important. Being literate is also, for younger children, is reading the images first. They're going to do that before they look at the word. Yeah? So they need to have time. I was forced to read when I was 5, and it wasn't good for me. I didn't like it. I had to do remedial reading later on because I was being forced to do something that I wasn't ready for. Yeah? Not all kids are ready for reading. Okay? So let's go back. Can you also see here we've got like a key question. What does it say in this blue box here?
How does your homemaker feel?
Yes, good. So we're talking about feelings already as well. The first time I would read the story, I would use my voice to set the atmosphere, if you like. So I might say something like, the clouds are grey, the tall trees sway. A storm is near, a storm is here, I want to run away. My home is warm, my home is dry, my home is safe. And so I would start off the story nice and slow and give it a rhythm. I might do some actions as well. Yes. The strong wind roars, the cold rain pours. I want to hide, I go inside, I shut and lock the door. My home is warm, my home is dry, my home is safe. And I might, as I'm doing this, my students might start to repeat the words with me when they see me, yes? And they'll probably do the movements as well. Thunder goes boom, light fills the room. I feel no fear, I'm safe in here. I hide in my bedroom. My home is warm, my home is dry, my home is safe. Now it's time to sleep. I can count some sheep. The storm is there, but I don't care. Soon I am asleep. Good night, Mum. Good night, Dad. Good night, Storm. Beautiful, yeah? So the story goes up, it's a little bit stressy, and then she goes in the house, and it's getting a little bit nicer. And then, oh, she's at home, everything's good, and then she goes to sleep. So your storytelling has a movement, and in the movement it has a tone of voice. Okay? Let's do that now. Let's practice. You can do in pairs. Take it in turns to read a piece of the story, and then one does a little bit, then you swap over. Okay? I'll give you 2 minutes on this page and then another 2 minutes on the other page. Okay? Just have a practice of how you would read out the story. Okay? Go off. Have a little go. Have a little go. that's lovely. And there are things that we can do even when we're just reading out the story to make it a little bit more visual, like, you know, now it's time to sleep, and feeling warm inside the house, touching your heart. All those things help children to understand and keep them focused on the story. So what ways then can we read a story? We can read using a visual. We can read out of the books. The teachers can read, the students can follow. What else can we do? The students can act it out, and they can just, you know, do a little bit of the chorus as well, something that repeats. Yeah? I think I would do in 3 stages. I would read it out, I would give them ideas of how they could make the story come alive, and then I would give the story to the students, just explore it as you would like. Yeah, give them some freedom to explore. Great. Right, so we have done visual thinking routine. We've done 3 kind of ideas for read-throughs. And now we're going to move on. My special little button pressing. Oh yeah, we've done that. We've done the take it in turns. Now, we're going to explore the reading, and we're going to use a reading skill. What do you think the reading skill is going to be?
Speech and sentence stress. Intonation.
Intonation, sentence stress. Okay, could be. But in this, is the order okay here? No, so we're going to do ordering the story. So sequencing, I guess, would be the reading skill. Okay, so what's number 1 here? There's a storm. Great. Number 2. Great. 3. Great. 4. Great. 5. Yes. And we don't have to stay on the page with our students doing this. You can easily cut out the phrases on pieces of paper and get them to order it. It is a way of changing the image from the book to the different thing. They can sit on the floor. They can have to run, and they have to meet to find the order. There's lots of different ways of teaching sequencing without it being boring, right? So that would be the next thing. Little bit of skill of reading. Now, this other one is going to be like a comprehension activity. Now, students would get these words to fill into a sentence. I've done it slightly differently for you because you're teachers. So I'm going to ask you, can you make the question of which the red phrase is the answer? So for number 1, for example, let me see. Oh, don't want to give you all the answers. So for example, why is the girl scared? A storm is near. What about number 2? What could the question be? What does she lock? Very simple. What does she lock? What does she shut and lock? The door. Good. 3. What is the noise the storm makes? Great. Next one. Where does she hide? Lovely. Last one. Yeah, what's she do in bed? What helps her sleep? Yeah, she does. Yeah. How does she get to sleep? She counts sheep. Yeah. So students, that's more difficult, but students would just have to put in the little red sentences, okay? So this is like a way of checking that your students understand, or comprehension, okay? Now, we're going to look at the vocabulary, and students would be asked to put the words that they think connect to the word storm and the other words that connect to home, okay? You're going to do this in pairs now. Okay, so somebody needs a piece of paper. You're going to put storm, home. You categorize the words and add some more words of your own, okay? I'll give you 2 minutes to do that on a piece of paper. Storm, home, and then you're going to put them into the different columns, okay? See if you can come up with some other really nice words.
I'll say dark and thunder. One side, dry and cold, warm on the side will be rain, warm will be rain, safe will be green will be
Yes.
under control.
If you want your children to get up out of their seats as well, you can have this sort of thing where you have the words on cards that they have to order. I think it's always really nice, though, when you get them to bring their own words that they know. And if they say in their first language, it's fine, we can help them. Yeah? Try and get them involved. It's not just a vocabulary exercise, yes? Okie dokie. So, we've got some new words as well. Yes. Great. Okay, so let's see. What words do we have associated to storm? We have dark, thunder, cold, wind. And for home we have dry, inside, warm, safe. What new words do we have for storm?
Noisy.
Scary, noisy, lightning, outside, dangerous, wet, rain. Fantastic. And what about some other lovely words for home? What? Protection, lovely. Magical, family. Lights, grades. Okay. Peaceful? Love. Yeah. And when the children don't know, they can't think of a word, they can show us how they feel at home. Yeah? They can show us by some sort of movement. Okay? And this, slowly you're going to see how we work through the social and emotional aspects of learning. Like I said this morning in the plenary, it's sad when we get students who are so brainy but they don't know how to do anything, like tie their shoelaces, or they can't work it with another person, they have problems socially, or yeah. So it's really important that I think all material, and I strive to do this a lot when I'm writing, is to include all these things like life skills, like values, like helping other people, having empathy, and also learning how to express your feelings. So it's really nice. Okay, what else have we got here? So we actually do move in now to the social emotional part of the learning. So think and discuss. Everyone is scared sometimes. What scares you and what makes you feel safe? So what we would do is we could use the handouts from the teacher's book. But let's just do this now on a piece of paper. Write down for yourself a couple of things you're scared of and a couple of things that make you feel safe. Okay? Do that for you and then show your partner what you've got. If you've got something different, if you've got something the same. Okay? Another 2 or 3 minutes for that on a piece of paper. What are you scared of and what do you like? Oh yeah, Climate change, hugs, rain. I think even, you know, teenagers would probably be okay with this if they could write it down, you know. Yeah. So when you've got it, share it with somebody, see if you've got something different. And you know, the thing about being scared is we have things our whole lives. It's not because we're adults that we're not scared of stuff. Yeah? We do have it.
What makes me feel safe? Friends and family and music.
Actually,
And music.
when nothing happens, I just wake up home, sit with my family, I feel safe.
Mine is I'm afraid of losing my job, so I won't be able to take care of myself.
Yeah.
So what makes me feel safe is that I will work hard, that I earn enough money to be
Yeah.
able to take care of myself.
But have financial security, yeah. That's very, very adult dilemma for us all, right? Yeah.
For me,
What-
I
yeah.
scare a lot of kinds of animals like snakes, mouse,
Yeah.
lizards. Oh my god.
Yeah, lizards, because they move really
And
quickly.
and sometimes they just fall from the tree in front of my face.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm scared to death.
Yeah. What do you think your students would say if you asked them that question?
Yes, I would say some of them maybe will say like they're afraid of not being studying hard enough, so they
Yeah.
will maybe exceed what they need to exceed at the end of the term.
Yeah.
And then for making them feel safe is like they need to stay focused and maybe get their own goal, achieving their goal at the end of the term or at the end of the year. They take a look at the bigger picture.
Yes. Yeah, and you as a teacher, you're fundamental in giving them that security too. Yeah, it's true.
That's where you as a teacher need to lay that fundamental
Yeah.
structure and keeping them focused and helping them to achieve
Yeah.
everything that they
Yeah.
would like to achieve.
For my student, I think they would say, I'm scared of the minors.
The what?
The minors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all about marks, poor things. They don't
No,
even...
actually not about
Yeah.
mark, because sometimes in my class, sometimes I put a mark like this, and when they are not, I delete one.
Oh, poor things, yeah. All right. This has been really interesting because we've also written things that, that we're scared of as adults, right? Yeah, and there's lots of things that we're scared of as well. But did you think about also what your students would say? We were talking over here, they were saying a lot of students would be worried about getting 10 out of 10 or, or failing something, yeah? But out of school, there are hundreds of other things, yeah? Spiders, scared of losing my mum and dad or somebody dying or, yeah? There are a lot of fears, aren't there? And what do you think they would say about being safe? Would they say with their family, my mum, my dad, yeah. Being at home, being cozy. Somebody said listening to calm music, that's really nice too. So in this kind of activity, you give your students a chance to discuss things, yeah? Even if they don't have a high language level that they can actually have a dialogue, they have something there that they can show each other. Even if it's a squiggly picture of a spider, right? So they're going to have an exchange, and hopefully through activities like this, they'll work with empathy, with looking at the other point of view of the other person sitting next to them. All right? Great. So let's just recap on the sequence that we worked at, because now it's going to be your turn. So how did we prepare for the reading? How did we prepare right at the beginning? Make the sound of the story, great. And we also? Good, we did see, think and wonder. Yes, the visual thinking routine, great. What was the reading skill that we practiced? Good, order and sequencing. We put the sentences into the order of the story. How did we check understanding? Okay, yes, great, good. And we also had the comprehension activity, right? To check that they understood the main parts of the poem. How did we explore the vocabulary? That's right, through storm and through home, we honed in on those two sets of words. And which activity focused on social emotional learning? Yes, what are you afraid of? What makes you feel safe? Yeah. And what was the key question again? Can you remember? Right at the beginning, on the second page of the poem. How does the storm make the girl feel? Yeah. So we can come back to that key question wherever we are, I think, in the class. So now it's going to be your turn. Let's just see what you're going to do. I've actually chosen the story for you because we had to print it for you, okay? We're going to hand it out in a minute. What will you do for a warm-up? So you're going to see a different story and you're going to be able to create something. Let's try and work in groups of about 6 people. Do you think that's possible? Yeah, we can also move the chairs a little tiny bit if we need. How will you get them ready for the reading? What would you do? Are you going to do some sort of physical activity? Have you got a little song that might work with the story? Have you got a puppet or a musical instrument? How will they explore the reading? Yeah? So you're going to see a sequence there, like visual thinking, comprehension, but you can also adapt, okay? Bring your own ideas of making something different. How will you integrate the social emotional learning? And how, I think this is really nice as well, how could you personalize the story in some way? Okay? And then if we've got time, we might be able to get a group of 6 sharing their ideas with another group of 6. So I've got plenty of copies, right? So we need to really have one person from the group of 6 to come up and get a copy. And then if we've got extra ones, we can distribute them, okay? Can you just find out who your gang are? Who are your gang of 6? Can be a bigger gang if you want a bigger gang. You can bring the chairs around, okay? Yourself. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Short.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's it.
That is not a bad idea. Okay.
Help yourself. Great. Sure.
Thank you.
Hopefully you got enough.
Thank you.
One there, one there, one there. If you want to sit on the floor, if you want to change positions, no rules, okay? Just try and work as a group, okay? You can get 2, yep. 2 groups, great. Groups, groups. I think we should have enough. Let's see, yep, I think it's good. Take that for your group. I've still got another 10 copies. Give you one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. Sure, sure.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Who else wants? I have more. One here. One here. There. You want one? Here at the back. Can you pass it on? Anyone else? Anyone else over there? Okay, here I come, here I come. You want perhaps one more? One for you. One more copy here. One more copy here. One. Okay. It's the whole, yeah, and I think and it's a non-fiction, I think. Okay? Yeah, sorry. I had to do that because I had to do the photocopy. I'm sorry that you can't choose. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else? You got enough here? You got one too? Let me just see over here. I'm coming back. If anybody else needs one more, big group needs one more, no. You want one more here? There you go. You got one more then. One for you. One over here. So in this particular case, it's a non-fiction. Would you like one? You got one? All right. Great. Still got 2 more copies. Anybody desperate? Sure. Last one, okay? Hey.
Yeah. Now listen, and this one I think we do this one for warm-up. Okay, describe the teacher. What can you see?
I think it wants to eat my candy.
Yeah, maybe.
The cute cat.
Yeah.
The cute one.
I wonder if he's lost. I wonder if he escaped from somewhere. I wonder if he's too hot because he's used to being in a different climate.
Someone will take
Yeah, what did you say?
If someone will catch the deer at home.
What did you say, my dear?
someone will take the deer.
Someone will take
Oh,
him.
yes. I wonder.
Maybe I wonder a good person would take the deer or a bad person would take the deer. A bad person would take the deer.
Okay, so we have some. So we had an activity for the warm-up.
Great.
And we will move to the reading sessions.
Great.
We start.
Okay. What's a typical sound you associate with a door?
Like that one.
Or opening? Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. She's got it. Perfect.
Because I was not impressed.
Just like your library looks like. So maybe social emotion, learning. Self emotion learning. Social. So in this section, this time, this something to read. This something you want to read. Also. As soon as social skills, they're the yeah.
What scares you? What makes you feel calm? So now we have to describe this.
How would you personalize the story? So what is the one activity what we do like we demonstrate? Watch movie.
Are you an author for that book, right?
Yes, level 1.
Congratulations.
You like it?
I like it because you promote critical thinking in this book.
Oh,
And
good.
you the open-minded means that let the students develop personalized and
Yeah.
characteristic. They don't scare. The picture that is, I say we can give a lot. You see that the Eiffel Tower behind the deer. So
Yeah.
you let them try
Yeah.
imagine about. They can say, oh, the deer run out of the zoo.
Yeah.
Or the deer. Some kids they have a big imagination. They can say, wow,
Yes.
the deer family go to
Yeah.
visit the Eiffel Tower, but he lost his parents. something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. He said, when they were talking about I wonder, he said, I wonder if someone's going to come and steal the deer. Yeah, so they all have.
Yeah, I love this book.
Good, good. I hope it really is helpful. We tried to make the teacher's book very supportive too,
Really?
so that teachers can follow it and they've got enough support and enough material to really feel secure.
I will
Yeah.
follow you on Facebook, on Twitter, because later I want to train my teacher for my language center.
Nice, nice.
If-
I'm going to give my email as well, so I can share the slides with you. I have a handout. Just get in touch and I'll send to you, okay?
You know, the problem here, because I did in the public school, and when I learn a lot, I go to the conference like this, I learn a lot, and when I come to the school, I want to share with my friend, but they think I'm crazy or something.
Yeah.
They don't know critical. I'm sure many teachers doesn't know what is critical
Yes,
thinking.
yes. Well, that's why in the teacher's book we have like a script of how to ask the questions. So they have support. It's not like, oh, this is critical thinking, go and do it. No, they need, and it takes time, but if they're supported, they'll get it piece by piece. It takes time. Not everybody makes the effort to be an amazing teacher.
But have you ever delivered a webinar on
Yes.
Cambridge
Yes.
website?
Not Cambridge, Macmillan.
Macmillan
Yes.
already?
Yeah, many.
What the title? Because I follow a lot of webinars.
The last one I did a webinar about going outside. Let's go outside.
Oh really? I
Yes.
will check it tonight.
Just put my name on Google and in YouTube you'll see many different things.
Okay.
And then you can just share that with the teachers because maybe a video is easier, right? There's another video which it has my teacher's toolkit. So my little things that I have. Okay? So have a look.
And I like the book. I see.
I'm
it
so
a
glad
lot.
you like it.
Yeah, because I grow up a bilingual kid. My kid is special, so I'm sure for this book is very nice.
Yeah.
Then it put a lot of emotional,
Yeah,
social, emotional language learning in this. Means that it integrated, so you balance not
Yeah.
the language, but you learn at the same time the
Learn
social
life.
skill, social, emotional,
Yeah.
and solving problem and
Yes.
critical thinking, many things in one lesson.
Yeah,
That's what I
and,
mean.
and I think that learning English like that is going to be more pleasurable because they're going to feel more interested in it. It's not just a set of symbols to learn and then say. No, it's like taking you on a journey, you know. So I'm really glad. Right, let me see how you're doing. Thank you. How are you guys doing? You are doing okay? Yeah?
Doing really well.
Yeah, great. Okay. Okay, I'll give you plenty of time to.
We thinking like that. That's question. How do you integrate SEL and how we personalize story?
Yes.
Is that quite similar?
It is kind of similar, but personalizing the story is more how you as a teacher will connect to it. Okay? So maybe you connect to it by describing the door of your house. get your students to guess. What colour is the door of my house? It's red, it's green, it's white. Is there a number on it? Is there a letterbox? How do I knock or ding dong?
Okay.
And it's your door. So that's already personalising what the students are going to see. And then did you see here the social emotional part here? It's going to be read and match, read and answer, see, draw and share. Think about where you live, what interesting doors are there, okay? So they're going to think about their community, and so they're going to share information about their community, okay? Usually the C part is the social emotional learning, where they draw and talk.
I really like the color of this book.
Do you?
Yeah. With the previous unit that you show us on
Yes.
the screen.
Yes.
With the house. That's
Yes,
really
yeah. This is all level 1, and I wrote it together with a very lovely author friend of mine who lives in Japan. He's half Canadian, half Japanese. And so it's very nice that we also have fiction and non-fiction.
So this is the youngest level.
This is level 1, yes,
Level
of
one.
global
How many
stage.
levels are there?
6. Yes. And
What's
also,
the name of the book?
it's called Global Stage. And you always have, for example, understanding the reading, social student, the link. You often have at the bottom of the page. Let's see if you've got a reading skill thing. Reading a poem, yeah. So you'll have like, here you've also got activating prior knowledge about places in the town and about nature. I like when there's an element of surprise, you know? Because this thing about doors is going to get the students thinking something they never thought about before. It's a day-to-day thing, and doors in all different countries are different. So you've got cultural awareness as well. Yeah. Exactly. And I think in a lot of bilingual schools and in international schools, that's what the parents want. They want their students to be smart enough, near native speakers, to be able to leave and study abroad, and that has to come through the material too. Yeah. Good. So what would be the warm-up, apart from visual thinking, apart from see, think and wonder? Yeah. What? Okay.
What kind of animal do you want to know?
Right, okay.
Where is the animal?
Okay.
What's behind
Yes, yes.
Do you know where it is?
Yes.
Some student who raise their hand say
Yes.
Eiffel Tower.
Yep. And what do you think they'll say when you get them to say, what do you wonder? What do you wonder? What will they say?
Why the days in the city?
Yeah, how did he get there? Who brought him? They can come up with all sorts of different answers. He's doing a photo shoot.
They are really, really good at that.
Yes. And when we give them that possibility and we listen to their ideas, it gets them so excited about the thing. And then what noises do we associate with a door? Exactly. Knock, knock, knock. Open, close, ding dong.
I like the material
Rat-a-tat-tat.
when you make the thunder, like with the big thing.
Yes, yeah.
What is it called?
I think it's a thunder machine. I don't know. I found it by a man who makes instruments and sells them on the beach. I was so lucky. I was writing a story about a dragon in the cave. And he said, oh, you need one of these. And I was like, oh, my God. And I haven't ever seen another instrument again like that. So I have to take... In Florianopolis on the island where I live.
Oh.
It wasn't a Brazilian. It was a guy from Uruguay, I think. But I think if you take a photo, somebody can make it. Because it's like a drum with a spring.
It's really special.
Yeah, it's travelled a long way. Yeah.
I was so surprised that you have a lot of toys.
Yeah, I know, yes. Oh, they
Travel
got an idea.
all the way with these toys.
Yeah. And I use them in my school a lot as well, yes.
You teach primary school?
Yeah, I teach in my language school. I have a little school called the Secret Garden, English school, and it's in the back garden of my house. So I have my home environment. Yeah, it's really nice. And we do cooking, and we do planting in the garden, we do yoga, we do theatre, music, projects. Some Montessori, yes, but a lot of the students go to a Steiner school. So the Steiner students are very artistic, and they're very good at working in teams.
How many students are you teaching?
In each class we have not more than 10 to 15, yeah. At the moment I've got a group of 10, they are 13, and another group they are 12, and they are 7 or 8 students. But in my whole school we have about 65 students. And we have children from 5, 6 to 17, 18. And when they finish with us, they do the Cambridge First Certificate usually, yeah, before university, so that they are upper intermediate speakers, yes. So that's very helpful before university.
Is it necessary to have a teaching assistant in that class?
No, because the numbers are small. No, not really.
Because usually you have a lot of tools and equipment, so sometimes you need someone to take with you.
Yeah, sometimes, but we're very lucky with our students. They know how everything works, and so they're not. It's not a very big group, so it's manageable. Yeah. So.
I can have 2 questions.
Yes.
I can ask you later, or do you want to finish?
I just want to see what the time is because I need to. Yes, I think I need to do a wrap up. But yeah.
And we'll ask you after.
Okay. All right then. Okay. Great. Let's see where I'm going to go now. Okay. Great. You are so brilliant. Oh my God. I'd like to work longer hours with you to do more things.
Can we have stickers, please?
You want stickers? I haven't got stickers, I've got hugs. Got hugs. Lots of free hugs if you want. So we've gone through the sequence of a unit in the book. We've talked about pre-reading skills. We've talked about reading skills. And we've had a little go at all the whole sequence and how the activities mould together. But I think, and I've been listening to some of the things you've been saying, I think the overriding joy of this material is that it really stretches the children to think outside of the box a little bit. And that's the sort of thing we really need to do with our students. So I thought about wrapping up the session by telling you a poem and telling you also a little story about where I was brought up in England. So I was born in Oxford, and I was brought up in another place called Buckinghamshire. And when I was 16, I went to a different school to study high school. And in this village, a very famous author that you might know lived there. His name was Roald Dahl. He is an author of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda, James and the Giant Peach, and he lived in the village where I went to school. So sometimes on my way to school, I would see Roald Dahl walking along the pavement. He was a very tall man. And it got me so excited. I used to say, people, look, it's Roald Dahl over there, look. And I've always loved his books and his sense of humour, principally his sense of humour. And Roald Dahl went to school, I guess around the 40s, 50s. And obviously, school at that time was very, very old-fashioned and strict. And he went to an all-boys boarding school. And I recently found a poem that he wrote talking about a teacher that he had that he didn't like very much. Because the teacher only made them learn lists and lists of words, and there was nothing more than that. And it was a history teacher that he had. So he writes this very dark, humorous poem, which I thought I could recite just before we finish. Okay, so let me just see here, because I have one more slide. So it goes like this. My teacher wasn't quite as nice as yours seems to be. His name was Mr. Unsworth, and he taught us history. But when you didn't know a date, he'd get you by the ear and start to twist while there you sat, quite paralysed with fear. He'd twist and twist and twist your ear and twist it more and more until at last your ear fell off and tumbled on the floor. Our class was full of one-eared boys. I'm certain there were 8 who'd had them twisted off because they didn't know a date. So today, let us praise teachers who are all so very kind. You in particular are totally divine. Thank you. Great. So just to finish, my very last finally thing, find ways to lift the story off the page. Use the story sequence to support your teaching. Start simple, but try something new. You'll be surprised at how amazing you can be. And let the magic of storytelling take your teaching to a new level. I'd like to thank you for being such an amazing audience and helping me today. Thank you very much. Thank you. Email if you want it. Great.
Thank
Done.
you, Lucy.
Done.
Thank you for very inspiring presentation. I hope you still have a lot of idea in your mind and you will take home and bring it to life in your class. And we do